The devil thinks that God makes people suffer for his own sick amusement. But that's not God. God wants you to be happy, but he's given you free will. And remember what we said last night. We came here to this material world because we wanted to imitate him. He doesn't interfere. He gives you facility. Okay, you want to imitate me? Here is this body. What is your desire? Then we indicate to Krishna what we want to do, and depending on our work, depending on if we are worthy, we did the proper things, then the desire is fulfilled. But that choice of what your desire is, he doesn't interfere with it. That's why he told Arjuna, I've told you everything. Now, yate jasi tata kuru. Do what you want. When Krishna was driving the chariot, he waited for Arjuna to give the command. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, the first words of Arjuna, take my chariot. I want to see who has come here to fight. Krishna takes the chariot and says, behold, Partha. Then Arjuna, in other words, Arjuna gave the command, Krishna responded. So we indicate to Super Soul, and then he acts accordingly. In the spiritual world, we made the first move. It's not that he kicked us out. We made the first move. Because we wanted to imitate him, Krishna says, but that can't happen here. Because everybody else in this abode doesn't feel like you. So I have to create a dreamland so you can pretend to be me. That's called Santiago. It's a dreamland. It's not real. Any situation in this material world, it's a dreamland. Okay? That makes sense? So Krishna doesn't interfere with your independence, your free will, with your desire, with your choice.
But then isn't he the causes of all causes?
Yes, he's the cause of all causes, and the first cause was he gave you free will. You got to remember that at all times. He gave you free will. He has free will. Okay? Now, in the case of a pure devotee, in the case of a completely surrendered soul, Krishna acts a little differently. Because the pure devotee, the surrendered soul, has already indicated to Krishna, take over. But the devotee made that choice. My Lord, take over. Just like Arjuna on the battlefield. He was confused, bewildered, lamenting. But at the turning point, Shishyasteham Shadimang Twang Prapanam. Now I surrender to you. You instruct me. Now I'm your disciple. So at that point, now the relationship changes. Now Krishna becomes not friend of Arjuna, but Arjuna's guru. Chastises him. So when you're ready to be chastised by Krishna, then he'll guide you differently. Okay? Let's have another question. Roberto Maharaj.
Maharaj, there are different interpretations, translations, if you will, of the Bhagavad Gita by different people. What is the difference between Prabhupada's interpretation and some of the others?
Because he told you right at the beginning when you opened the book, the very cover of the book, Bhagavad Gita as it is. He's not giving you his own slant. He's giving you just the facts, man, just the facts. When sometimes you're on the trial, when you're in the court, so you're called to testify. So the lawyer will ask you a question. Now sometimes the person answering the questions wants to embellish and explain. The lawyer said, no, just answer the question. Yes or no. Were you there at the scene of the crime? I don't want your explanation. Just answer yes or no. And the judge will say yes. Just answer yes or no. We don't want to hear. So when Prabhupada writes his Bhagavad Gita, it's Bhagavad Gita as it is. Who is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita?
Krishna.
He's going to give you Krishna's words. He's not going to filter it. He's going to give you the exact meaning. He has no ulterior motive. Prabhupada knows the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is? What?
Surrender unto
Surrender. Our final song for tonight, unless the string breaks. He knows the conclusion. And Krishna's presentation is consistent. There's no contradiction. Because from Krishna's point of view, what does Krishna want Arjuna to do at the end of Bhagavad Gita?
Do his duty.
Do his duty, which in this case is
To fight the
to
battle.
fight. Right. We were also talking about this last night. That Arjuna did not want to fight, but Krishna more or less said, wait, the time for negotiation is way past. Krishna tried to do a peace arrangement, but the Kauravas did not want peace. They wanted the war. So now you have, so that was our Krishna's point to Arjuna. There's no option here. You have to fight. They don't want peace. And you want to run away to the forest? That's not you, Arjuna. I've given this example many times. Say you're being attacked in your home. You immediately call. In America, they have this thing, 911. You hit the phone, 911. Yes, what is your emergency? I'm being attacked, send the police. So the police comes. Now you're fighting with the intruder, right? The policeman gets to the door and goes, I don't know if I want to go in there. How would you feel? You would sue the police. Why? He didn't do his duty. In the United States, in Los Angeles, the cop cars, what does it say on the car? To serve and protect. So the cop at the door who didn't want to go in did not serve and didn't protect you. He didn't do his duty. That was Krishna's point to Arjuna. Look at you, Arjuna. You've come here to fight. This is now the time, and now you're having second thoughts. That's why Krishna called him a eunuch. You're impotent. He chastised him on this point. So, Prabhupada's presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is. And the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is to surrender, to do devotional service. It's very clear. I've read Bhagavad Gita, I read it every year, verse by verse. I know Bhagavad Gita, what its conclusion is. Prabhupada's presentation is the complete Bhagavad Gita. Some Bhagavad Gitas, they only have 6 chapters. Because the person who's presenting Bhagavad Gita knows if I go beyond 6, I can't preach my nonsense philosophy. But Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters, 700 verses, and the conclusion is surrender. And for Arjuna, Krishna's message is fight. That's not our message. We're not Arjuna. Our fight is different. We are to fight ignorance. We are to fight gross materialism, atheism. How do we fight? We don't strap bombs to ourselves. The only bomb we have is this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That's our bomb. One more question before the next song. Samohini?
Why do we say the science of Krishna consciousness? How can it be a science?
Excellent question. My favorite story. Many years ago, I was invited to a college classroom. So the teacher would always invite me every year. She was doing these courses on, what were the names of this? She had 2 or 3 different courses. Emotions in Religion was one of the courses she was teaching in a public college. Emotions in Religion. And the other one I think was Comparative Religion. So whenever she would get to Hinduism, she would invite me. So this one evening class, I was explaining how Bhagavad Gita is a science. So one student, she goes, "No, how can you say science? Science is biology, chemistry." And she was naming all the sciences. So then I explained to her, science means, first of all, observation and experiment. And science also means that you have a particular procedure or formula, and if you do it properly, you're supposed to get a predictable result. Scientific, something that happens all the time, it's predictable result if you follow the procedures properly. Just like they have different medications, right? So they make those medications according to the formula. And they're making millions and millions of these prescriptions and making gajillion dollars. Okay? That's science. There's a science of how to play the guitar. There's a science of everything can be in the material world can come down to a science. So this is the science of God. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is telling you, here is the way you should live. And if you live like this, here is the predictable result. And then Krishna also gives you what would be the alternatives. Oh, you want to live in the mode of ignorance? Right there it tells you what are the symptoms that you're going to experience if you live your life in the mode of ignorance or in the mode of passion. The symptoms are there in the 14th chapter, 17th chapter, 18th chapter. All the different scientific results of how to live, it's right there. There's eating in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. There's work in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. There's happiness in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Charity.
And charity, and sacrifice, endeavor, food, even food. Some food is in the mode of ignorance. We don't just eat any damn thing. We're very, very careful what we eat. Because if you eat in the mode of ignorance, what's going to happen? Sick, disease. If you eat in the mode of passion, right? You get passionate. And if you eat in the mode of goodness, shanti. You like that one, Herman? And if you eat food offered to Krishna, what do we call that? You develop what?
Pure love.
Yes, pure love of, excellent answer. You develop love of God. And you also become happy, 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 because I'm happy. Okay? Happiness in the mode of ignorance is suffering, middle, beginning, and end. Happiness in the mode of passion. It's great in the beginning, but then it goes bad. Friday night comes, let's go to the bar, let's dance, let's drink. Saturday morning, oh, man. Oh, God. In America, they have so many stories. The young girls, they drink so much, what happens? It's in every TV show. Okay? Happiness in the mode of goodness, a little discomfort, a little pain in the beginning, but as time goes on, it turns to nectar. Turns to nectar. For instance, no child wants to go to school. They want to stay home and play video games. Because school means, I gotta go to school. Right? But you parents know better. There has to be some training. You have to go to school, work, homework. But then you get an education, and hopefully you get a nice job and can live comfortably. So the mode of goodness is like that. In the Vedic age, the yogis would do austerities for 10, 20,000 years. And after that, they would have these fantastic powers, mystic powers. And everybody in America knows, right? You do some yoga, you do some fasting, you clean yourself, and then you can look and feel good. Right? Why? I see every day. I get up early, I see the people jogging, right? Why are they doing that? Little pain now, but later on and down the road, I won't be beset with so much suffering. So that's the mode of goodness. But transcendental happiness is always pleasurable. Pleasurable in the beginning, pleasurable while you're doing it, just like today. I don't know about you, I'm enjoying. Who's enjoying? All right, very good. I'm a success. Very good. All right, let's do another song. Let's see what we got. All right, I want to do your song. No, your song. No, her.
For me?
Yeah.
I thought.
No.
I said yesterday you do something different for some other public.
Don't worry about it. I'm doing your song. Okay? Because I also like this song. Okay? Oh, did your son come?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, he has to show his face. He can't hide out in the corner.
He's calling me. You should come.
All right. So let me do his song first. Let me do his song first.
Yes.
All right, so your song. Let's give him a big hand. This is the only song of mine he likes. All right. Give me a second here. All right. This is a funny song, right? Hold on. Gotta do a... The GBC is on your case. They don't like your scruffy face, but don't worry. Can't chop up. Your wife, she says, you got no class. She makes you feel like you're an ass, but don't worry. Be like me and chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, on your case. You like to put him in his place, but don't worry. Chant your japa. Your friends, they always let you down. They look at you like you're a clown, but don't worry. Chant japa. Let's all chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama All right, here we go. I sing my songs a little flat. I know I'm getting way too fat, but don't worry. Just chant your japa. Your children all turn out real bad. To look at them, it makes you sad, but don't worry. Chant japa. Let's all just chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Woo! Everyone, one more time, play. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Clap your hands and say. Krishna, Hare Rama, All right, before we do your next song, one more question. One more question. Who's got a question besides Srinam Radha? Anybody? Yes.
I was told that at the very beginning, the order of the yugas was different. It was the third.
Yes.
Why did it change?
It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam that occasionally there's an overlapping. So the second became the third became the second. Most likely, I would surmise that it has to do with because Krishna appeared in this particular millennium. Okay? Because Krishna only comes once in a day of Brahma. So the appearance of Krishna is very special. And also, right after the appearance of Krishna is the once in a lifetime of Brahma appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
And he came just 500 years ago. Okay, one more question.
Lord Chaitanya came as a sadhu. Why did he come in this particular? Why did Krishna come in this particular?
Good
year?
question. Very good question. So, as I just said, Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. And we were mentioning this last night. When Krishna appeared, very few people actually understood who he was. Most people didn't get it. Although Krishna came, did amazing pastimes, only the residents of Vrindavan, the Pandavas, they knew the true identity of Krishna. Everybody, even Krishna's own family didn't appreciate him properly. They thought he was at most the super soul. They didn't understand that this was the origin, the original, the source of all incarnations. That aspect of Krishna, very few people understood, that Krishna is the origin of all incarnations. So when Krishna returned to his abode, he was thinking, the purpose for which I came wasn't successful. I'm going to now come again and teach people by my own example why they should love and serve me and worship me. So I won't come as God. I'll come as my own devotee and teach them personally that it's more ecstatic to love God than to be God. This is a conundrum wrapped around an enigma. Because everybody in the material world is trying to be number one. Everybody trying to be number one. The champion. We are the champions, my friend. That's everybody's desire, to enjoy, to dominate. Bow down to me, Donald Trump. Everyone's trying to be the supreme. But Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, came as Krishna's devotee and experienced more ecstasy. And that's what it means to be a chanter. You experience the highest ecstasy chanting Krishna's name. Okay? Let's do a song for my good friend. Never felt... Wait, I'm not in tune. Hold on. Chant japa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Never felt like this until I chanted. How did I exist before I chanted? Now you're on my mind. You're there all the time. I can't forget that. You're inside my heart. Inside my heart. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender to you, Now things have really changed since I've been chanting. My life is not the same since I've been chanting. You've got a way about you, and I can't live without you. I can't forget that. You're inside my heart. Inside my heart. Chintamani, transcendental gem. The holy name of Krishna is complete and always transcendental. The holy name of Krishna is eternally liberated and full of all transcendental melody. The holy name of Krishna does not depend on initiation. It is self-sufficient. So let me go on chanting for 1,000,000 years. I won't forget that you're inside my heart. Inside my heart. Oh, oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender to you. To you. Who has a question? No questions? Okay, Srinam, nobody has a question, so you got them.
Can you explain the difference between an incarnation of God and an expansion of God?
Once I tune my guitar. Okay. Usually the words expansion and incarnation are used interchangeably, but there are times when it's a little different because there are 6 different kinds of incarnations. Some of the incarnations are what is called Vishnu Tattva, in the category of God. And other incarnations are incarnations of persons empowered by God. They're not God himself, but souls who have been empowered. So you have Leela avatars or expansions. They're in the category of God. Vamana, Kurma, Nisringa, Matsya, Rama. Those are direct expansions of Krishna in the category of God. So they're called Leela. They perform extraordinary pastimes. Then you have Purusha avatars. They are also direct incarnations or expansions of Krishna. Mahavishnu, who expands as Garbhodakashai Vishnu, who expands as Kshirodakashai Vishnu. But they're also in the same equal potency of God himself. So that's 2. Then you have Guna avatars, incarnations who are in charge of the modes of nature. Lord Brahma is empowered. He's a living entity, a jiva soul, empowered to engineer the construction of the universe. Then you have Lord Shiva, who is not exactly in the category of God, but he's also not a living entity. He's in between God and the living entity. He's in his own separate category. Shiva Tattva or Shambhu Tattva. And there are different Lord Shivas. There's also a Lord Shiva who is Vishnu, and he's known as Sadashiva. But generally the Shiva that we refer to is this one that's in between. He's not God directly. And your favorite example, the difference between milk and yogurt. Milk and yogurt is the same, but not exactly. You don't use milk the same way as you use yogurt. They're different. It's milk, but they're a little different. So Lord Shiva is almost God. But he's not the same as Vishnu. So he's just a tick below. Difference between milk and yogurt. And then in the mode for the mode of goodness, God himself takes charge. Shirodakashai Vishnu, he's in charge of the mode of goodness. So that's the third category, the Guna avatar. Then you have the fourth, the Yuga. Thank you. Thank you for that. Give her a hand. That was good. Yuga avatar. We mentioned the different yugas and the process of self-realization. So for each yuga and process of self-realization, God comes and shows it by his example. In Satya Yuga, it is the white incarnation. In Treta Yuga, the red incarnation. In the Dwarapara Yuga, the blackish incarnation. And in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya is golden. Gora Hari. Then, so that's four. Now we have the fifth category. Manvantara avatars. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. Manu means the father of mankind. So in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And in each Manu period, an incarnation or expansion of God himself comes to assist Manu in the affairs of the universe. And then we have the sixth kind, which is called Shaktya Avesh. It means a living entity like you and me invested with superpowers, like Vyasadeva, empowered to, of course, empowered to write the Vedic literatures. You have the four Kumaras, empowered with transcendental knowledge. Narada Muni, empowered with devotion, Bhakti Shakti. Pitu Maharaj, empowered to rule. Sheshanag, but Sheshanag is not a living entity. But Sheshanag is empowered to carry all the universes on his hoods. And to him, it feels like a mustard seed. Because he's giving extraordinary power. Then you have Parashuram. Parashuram is also Vishnu Tattva, but he's empowered with the ability to cut down rogues and thieves. Okay? All right. Does anybody have a song they want me to sing from my repertoire? Yes. Bart, huh?
Roshni has one. She asked you guys to.
That's the. I'm gonna. We still got time yet. We got time for one more song, then the closing. What does she want?
It's up to you.
Up to you? The song. Not that it's up to me, but she wants the song. All right. Let's do it. Okay, hold on. Hold on, everybody. Gotta get my key. Has somebody done the offering? Has the food been offered?
Civil offer, Prabhuji. No problem.
Yeah, she should get on that because,
Yeah.
yes, it's important. We have to first offer our food. Okay? And I'm waiting for two things to happen. Robert?
Yes, sir.
If I was to ask you today to lead the kirtan for Artia, would you do it?
Give me a tune or a melody. Sure, I could do it.
Yeah, we'll do the simple Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Sure, absolutely.
could do it?
Absolutely.
You could rock the house.
I'll try.
Krishna is telling me to
Krishna's
give you
grace.
that circus
Krishna's grace, I will try.
as a parting gift.
And your assistance.
Okay? All right. All right. Dedicated to Divya. Not right. Krishna's spoken Arjuna on the battlefield, where the import of the Vedas was revealed. He told him that his duty was to stand last night, Uchiranana. So, you get it today. But I broke my pick. It's time for another. All right. So this is the last song for this session. I'll maybe see you in August, maybe. If not, I'll see you in Marso, Magaura Purnima. But she says I'm definitely coming in August.
Yes, Prabhuji.
She has mystic powers. She thinks, no, I know you're coming. I don't have that. Okay? So we'll see. But in March, my wife will be coming with me. All right. Gotta get the right tambura sound. And that would be in the key of C sharp. Okay. So, in the words of my sometimes friend, fellow musician, he says, this is not my opinion, it's his opinion. This is the greatest song ever written by anyone. So, since he's my sometimes friend, I take it. That's a good compliment. And it is dedicated to all of you. And this song is my personal confession to Krishna. And sometimes when I sing this song, I cry. So if I cry, ignore me. Okay? Just keep singing. I'll get it together. And I have a feeling I'm going to cry this one. Because it's the last song for this trip. Here we go. Wait till I start. Well, since I've been in Maya, my heart is never satisfied. She promises the world, but all I ever do is cry. So Krishna, I am on my knees, and I'm begging with you if you please. Sing with me. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. Stop. And I believe